Okay, sit yourself onto your lift. Just come into a good cross-legged position and have your seat bones as even as you can get them. So sit in cross legs and just observe the feeling of your seat bones in connection with the cushion, and then hold onto your knees, lift up into your chest, draw your shoulders down away from your ears. Sorry, Zoom keeps on popping things up, which is very annoying. So just get yourself settled. Just feel that there's no question about your levelness. Hold onto your knees. Elevate the heart area upwards, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. And focus on long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations and exhalations. Soften the jaw, soften your tongue and your throat. Hold on and release your knees, bring your hands into Namaste. Press the palms firmly together and lengthen your armpits into your elbows. Lengthening your armpits into your elbows, the elbows into the heels of the hands into the fingertips. And with an exhalation, allow your eyes to gently close. Fill your lungs from the bottom to the top and empty your lungs from the top to the bottom. And with an exhalation, draw your chin down to meet your chest, lift your chest up to meet your chin. Spend a moment to seek to generate a genuine, heartfelt sense of gratitude for something or someone or somewhere. Hold on to that feeling of abundance in the heart area, and then release the backs of your hands down toward your knees. Palms facing upwards. Have the tip of the index finger together with the tip of the thumb. A gesture of wisdom, of physical intelligence and peacefulness that we can carry with us into our practice. And then raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open. Elevate the heart area up to the ceiling, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. Just draw your attention into the physical body. So we're starting our classes at a slightly later time over Christmas, And maybe the mind feels active in a different way. It normally does in the first thing in the morning. So try to draw your attention into the skin, into the physical body. Feel how the seat bones connect to the cushion. Feel how you can elevate from the hips and up into the armpits. Take a deep inhalation and then turn to the right side, drawing your abdomen across. Your abdomen and your ribs and your shoulders, using your out breath to turn into the pose. Come back to the center and hold onto your knees. Elevate your heart area upwards, drawing your shoulders down. Take a deep inhalation in through the nose. And then turn to the left, drawing your abdomen across. Drawing your abdomen and your ribs and your shoulders. Listening to the breath. Gently come back to the center. Come up off your lift and then sit back on your heels. Come back on your heels and just observe the feeling in the legs as you sit back down.
Is your mic on, Mike?
I think so. No, that's. I don't know why that didn't swap over. Can you hear me better now? How we go? Yeah, okay. Usually just switches over automatically. I'm not sure what happened there. Just wriggle into your heels, lift up into the chest, elevating the heart area up to the ceiling. Breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. Let me just check this. Looks like it's working. And then come forwards, hinging at the hips, stretching your arms forwards, spread the fingers, spread the palms, and then just extend from the hips into the armpits, but press the hips down towards the heels at the same time. So this two-way stretch is the foundation of all yoga extensions, because you can't just stretch into one direction without stretching back, because otherwise, if you just stretch from the hips into the heels, if you stretch from the hips into the arms, then this becomes a lunge. So press the palms firmly into the floor to hit back down onto the heels. Listen to the breath. Listen to the in-breath. Listen to the out-breath, focusing on long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations and exhalations. Come up onto your knees, turn your toes under, and then come up into dog down. Activate the legs, tighten the kneecaps, hit the fronts of the thighs through to the backs of the thighs, turn the fronts of your thighs inwards. Just listen to the breath, focusing on long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations and exhalations, drawing your attention inwards into the physical body. So when we talk about drawing your attention inwards, that's not in overly self-analytical framework, because that is often not very healthy, to overanalyze oneself, but to draw our attention into the physical sensations of the pose. That helps us to connect the physical body with the pose, the mind with the physical body. And so we use our poses to bring our attention into the present moment, because the body is the present. The body is also the past, but you feel the effect of the past in the present. And we just observe how the body feels in the present. So if you have a historic injury, your kind of mental sympathy for that area perhaps doesn't always entirely match the physical reality of it. Maybe it does, but there's a difference between then and now, and feel now. Come back down onto your knees and sit back on your heels, and lift the heart area up to the ceiling, drawing your shoulders down. Just take some deep inhalations, deep exhalations, just feeling the energy that you have released through just the few simple poses we have done so far. Listen to the breath. Just one more time, come up into dog down. Keep the hands as wide apart as the mat. Have the feet as wide apart as the mat. Step back a little if you're not very wide. Come back up into the pose. Again, just feeling the physical body as it is at this precise moment in time. Feel the lungs. That is happening now. We're bringing the present moment into attention. Listen to the in-breath and the out-breath. And again, come down onto your knees. Just sit back on your heels and observe your energy. Observe the energy that the pose gives you right now. Come back, sitting back on your heels still. Just have the hands underneath your shoulders in our little paryankasana variation. Fingers pointing forwards towards the knees. Get the arms really straight. So lock the elbows. Lift from the wrists up into the armpits. So it makes you lift and open the chest. So you might just be happy here. If you want to go further, press the knees and the shins into the floor. Turn the tailbone inwards and then lift the seat bones away from the feet. And then if there's no problem with your neck, extend into your chin. Pressing the knees into the floor, turning the tailbone in, lifting from the abdomen to the diaphragm, to the collarbone, to the chin, pressing the hand into the floor, lifting from the wrists up into the armpits. And then come back down. Bring the seat bones back down onto the heels. And then again, just sit back on your seat bones, observing the energy of the pose. listening to the breath. And one more time, come forwards into Adho Mukha virasana. Stretching forwards, keeping the seat bones down on the heels, stretching forwards, bring the forehead down. Just observe if the body feels a little more consciously aware. Keep your focus and attention inside the physical body, listening to the breath. And then come back up into sitting on your heels. Just observe how your energy has changed, listening to the sound of the breath. Sit yourself directly on the mat. If you sink in the spine when you sit directly on the mat, then sit on a block or on a folded blanket. Have a couple of blocks either side of the hip, and then elevate your heart area up to the ceiling. So feel that you are evenly placed on the seat bones. And then hold on to the underside of the right knee and then bring the right elbow down onto the block. Have it underneath your shoulder, directly underneath your shoulder. Now at this stage you'll have likely have become heavy on the right seat bone and really light on the left seat bone. So consciously push that left seat bone really firmly, that left elbow really firmly down into the floor, and then, that right elbow right into the floor, and then stretch across into that left seat bone. Turn the chest, look up to the ceiling. Keep pushing the right elbow firmly into the floor so that the seat bones feel level. You're pressing that left seat bone down and then reach up and over, looking underneath the armpit. Looking up to the ceiling just to help release the sinuses. Keep pressing that left seat bone down as firmly as you can by connecting it to the right elbow. Keep the arms straight if you can. And then come back to the centre, just feeling that openness of your energy around those left side ribs. And then reach underneath the left knee with the left hand. Bring the left elbow down onto the block. Again, making sure that that elbow is directly underneath your shoulder. Push the elbow into the floor and then stretch across into that right seat bone. So feel that the seat bones can be level by really consciously stretching from the left elbow into the right hip and then reach up and over. Keeping that right seat bone down on the floor. Listening to the breath, listening to the inhalation and the exhalation. Focusing on long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations and exhalation. And then come back to the centre. Just hold onto your knees, feeling the length of the side ribs. Just observing your energy. Okay, we're going to do some quiet and impose. You might want to give yourself a little bit of extra cushioning underneath your on your blanket. So if you've got a spare, like this is a big bath towel. If you've got a spare blanket, then have it for underneath your or on top of your mat. So we're going to start off with just a bolster for our back, and then get your folded blanket, and then just have that for your head. And then we're going to come into supta, baddha, konasana. So feet together, lift the spine, and then guide yourself down along the bolster. So we're just going to use this rather than our typical approach. We're going to use this as a restorative pose. So if your seat bones, if your hips feel tight, then you can put blocks underneath the outsides of the thighs. If you feel like you might get cold, then have a blanket to cover yourself up with. So as you come back down onto the bolster, just lift yourself up and then guide yourself down. Guide yourself down into the bolster. Now if there's discomfort in the abdomen or anywhere around the back, then it might be that you're sitting too close to the bolster. So just adjust accordingly. So that although this is a pose in our standard practice as a restorative pose, this is really beneficial. Just let the body relax. Don't try and activate the legs. Let the knees collapse to the floor. Observe the opening of the abdomen and the broadening of the diaphragm and the opening of the chest as a result of laying back onto the bolster. Just breathing even deep inhalations and exhalations. Just allow the body to become soft and just to enjoy the open sensation offered by the bolster. Just bring in the body into how pleasant, quiet and in action. Just focus on the breath, allowing the breath to be gentle and natural. Okay, push your elbows into the floor and then push yourself up into a seated position. Just take hold of the big toes or hold of the shins if getting hold of the big toes is uncomfortable. Just observe your energy. And then just release your legs, stretch your legs out. And we're going to do a couple of side lying stretches. So the first one is really nice. You have a bolster long ways down the centre of your mat. You can use more than one bolster if you prefer, but one is probably, I would probably just start with one. So you're going to bring the side of the waist into the bolster. So you stretch yourself out along the bolster. It's good to have something to kind of keep you warm if you need it for your feet especially. So it's the hip on the bottom of the bolster, the lower ribs on the top of the bolster, and then you just stretch yourself out initially. Just have a good stretch, make sure you're in a good straight line, and then you just let go, let the legs release, let the arms really soften, and then let the body relax into the pose. So it doesn't look particularly comfortable, but it's actually really comfortable. Once you're in the pose, just let the legs soften, let the feet relax, and breathe evenly into both sides of the lungs. So this is our back stretching side lie-in pose. So we're going to stay here for a few minutes. So make sure you're comfortable. Adjust your position if you're not comfortable. Just let the body relax into the pose. Don't try and consciously extend. Don't try and fight it. Let the body relax into the pose. Of course, if it's causing discomfort, then you adjust until it doesn't. So this pose is really good relief for a stiff back. But like I say, it looks uncomfortable, but it shouldn't be. So just letting the rest of the body soften around the pose. So in a moment we're going to bring ourselves out of the pose. So you're just going to bend your knees a little and then just roll onto your front. Push your elbows into the floor so that the hips are level with the floor. And then walk your knees in and then just sit back on your heels. Observing your energy, observing how your energy has changed as a result of the pose. And then we will do the other side. So just sit with the other hip close to the bolster, remembering that it's just the side of the waist that comes into it's the abdominal walls that come into the bolster, and then just keeping yourself covered. Just make sure initially that you're in a really good straight line. Let's have an initial little stretch along the bolster, and then let the legs relax, let the arms soften, let the knees bend, and just allow your body to just yield into position. Just allowing the body to relax into the pose. And then gently roll onto your front. Push both elbows into the floor. Just straighten yourself up so your hips are level with the floor. And then bend your knees, just come up onto your knees. And then sit back on your heels. Just sitting back on your heels for a moment. Just observing your energy. And then just move your bolster up a little bit. Have a block for your head. Have the blanket, the folded blanket, on top of the block. And then we can do a side lying stretch that works on the shoulders. It's really nice. So this time the bolster is going to go in the armpit chest. So you come down, so you keep your knees bent this time. You come down along the bolster. You bring your shoulder down onto the floor. Let this arm that's on the floor be in a comfortable right angle. And then again, cover yourself up if you feel like you might be cold. And then extend the top elbow over your ear. Just let the body release into the floor. If there's resistance or stiffness in your shoulder of this upper arm, then you can put a block underneath the hand just to support it, but otherwise just allow the body to come into this side lying stretch. So the bolster this time is in the armpit chest, so we're just stretching out the back, stretching out the shoulders. So I really, really like this pose. I think this is one of the most calming, most restorative poses out there, and it's also really good for stiff shoulders. Just remember to adjust if you're uncomfortable. Adjust until you are comfortable. Just aim to breathe evenly into both lungs. Evenly out of both lungs. Okay, much as it would be lovely to stay like this for the rest of the day, release that top arm, just rest it on your hip. Push the bottom elbow into the floor and then just bring yourself up into a seated position, observing the energy of the body, maybe observing how perhaps the back feels a little looser. And then we'll do the other side, sit onto the other hip, and then again stretch yourself across, bolster underneath the armpit chest, and then extend the top arm up and over the ear, just resting down into the floor. So these poses do require complete relaxation, which doesn't always come straight away. But these relaxation poses do really invigorate your energy. You'll feel really good after this. Just focusing on breathing evenly into both lungs, evenly out of both lungs. And then just rest the top arm back onto the hip. Push your bottom elbow into the floor and then bring yourself back up into cross legs, just observing your energy. Okay, we're going to do the supported child's pose. So have your bolster long ways, and you probably want to make the bolster a bit higher than this. So if you've got two bolsters, have one on top of the other. If you don't have two bolsters, then you can put some blocks underneath your bolster and raise it up that way. So you just want a little bit of extra height. You can also get your folded blanket and just unfold it a little so that it's on top of the bolster, just to give you a bit of additional height, and then lengthen along the bolster and then let the body drape over the bolster.
Ideally, you want to be high enough so that your elbows are free of the floor. If you can't get high enough for that, or if it doesn't feel comfortable to be too high, then have your elbows wide enough apart so that you're not supporting your weight with your shoulders, with your elbows. Just resting your head on one side, and then allow the body to just drape over the bolster. Just a really good release for the shoulders, for the neck. So we're going to alternate the way that we are resting our head in a moment, so you get an even stretch of the neck. Just lift your head and place your head on the other side, just resting into the bolster on the other side. Push your hands into the floor and then sit yourself up. Just observe your energy, how your energy has changed. And then just take the bolsters out of the way. And we're just going to finish for the last couple of minutes. Rather than laying on our back for traditional sirvasana, we're going to lay it on our front, create a little pillow for your hands, And then rest your forehead onto the back of your hands. Just resting yourself down into the floor. So this is a really restful way to release for your back. And then when you're ready, lift your head, just push your hands under your shoulders and then push yourself up into a seated position, and then just sit yourself in cross legs. Just come into cross legs with your hands in Namaste. Just a final spinal lift. Draw your breath in through your nose and down into the abdomen. Be conscious of the energy that you have released through your practice. A good, positive, healthy flow of clean energy that the extensions and the restorative poses bring to the body and to the mind. And then draw your chin down to meet your chest. Spend a moment to seek to acknowledge the positive energy you've created inside. And then send some of that positive energy out into the world. And then very gently release the backs of your hands down towards your knees, palms facing upwards. As you raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Thank you. So hopefully you feel as though You've stretched yourself out, giving yourself good energy to put into your day on this run up to Christmas. So hopefully you feel good and your back feels nice and loose. So thank you very much for joining me.